Hi, I'm Jan. I would like to present to you my bachelor thesis topic I did back in Osnabrück at the Institute of Neuroinformatics. And the goal of this project was to decode the perception of contours in real time from EEG. So what is EEG? EEG is electroencephalography, and it is a method to measure small voltage fluctuations that are caused by brain activity. So we can then relate certain patterns in EEG to cognitive states. And this brings us to decoding. So the fact that every piece of information that enters our senses is encoded into brain activity makes it possible to decode this activity and to decode the sensory information that entered the brain. So now we can take EEG data and decode sensory information from the data. And this is already possible or can be well done in early visual processing and motor activity as well, like movements and imagined movements. But this is still difficult for higher order states like contour perception or like object recognition in general. So the goal of this project was now to design a classifier that is able to decode contour perception in real time. And then there was some data we got it from subjects that were performing this contour perception task. And in this task there were like a big set of small Gabo patches that have a certain orientation. And they were moving randomly, their orientation. And from time to time there was a Gabo path evolving from, like a contour path evolving from those Gabos. And the subject task was to detect this path and then say whether it was on the left or on the right side. So after some time there was a cue onset, and the subject has to make a saccade whether this contour was on the left or the right side. So this was the experiment I was analyzing. So to learn this classifier, I took the EEG data and I had a training session and a testing session. And of course the training was performed offline. But later I wanted to do the testing in real time, so online. So I took the data and did some pre-processing, high-pass filtered, and I applied power noise filtering. And then I epoched the data around the events of interest, so around the time points where the contour appeared. And then I did some feature extraction. I used discrete wavelet transform to do bandpass filtering in different frequency bands. And then I extracted power features and phase features from that. And those features were used to train a support vector machine classifier that takes a certain epoch from the EEG data and extracts features, and then predicts whether this part of EEG data was in fact a time point where the subject perceived this contour or not. So this is for the training, and for the testing, I wanted to simulate like real continuous EEG data. So I took two computers and then streamed from one computer through the network continuous EEG data. And on the other computer I had a ring buffer that was receiving this stream. And I just applied the pre-processing as before and the feature extraction. And then I took the SVM classifier from before from the training and classified every 100 milliseconds a piece of EEG data and predict whether there was a contour or not. So when it turned out that was working for the offline case, so I was able to decode contour perception from EEG data in an offline setup, but it did not work out for the online setting, so the classifier wasn't good enough to predict from continuous EEG data. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them during the poster session.
At the poster session, that's right. So.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.